Alright, first you need to choose which animal you'd like to do. You can do a fox, a bear, or a rabbit. I'm going to go ahead and do my example as a rabbit today for you guys. Now, the first time that I did my rabbit, I did not like my drawing. Now, luckily, when I did my drawing, I drew it nice and lightly, so when I finished the head of my rabbit, I was actually able to go back and erase everything that I had drawn so that you couldn't see anymore. So make sure that you draw lightly so that if you want to make any changes, it's very easy to do so. When you're drawing your animal, no matter what animal is, again, drawing lightly until you're happy with your drawing, and you're going to want to make sure that you're doing step by step, okay, what it says on the paper. Another note is to make sure that you're drawing your animal big enough on your paper. You want your entire animal to fill your paper. Okay, so make sure that you draw it nice and big. Once you're done drawing your animal, you're going to go over the entire drawing with a Sharpie. Make sure that you go nice and slow with the Sharpie, going over all of your pencil lines. Looks like I'm going really fast here, but I'm actually taking my time and going very slowly. Once you do Sharpie, you can't make any changes. So you need to make sure that you're happy with your drawing before Sharpieing your drawing. You're actually going to fill in the nose and the eyes with your black Sharpie. Do not fill in anything else on your animal. So I also left a white highlight on the eyes and the nose just to make my bunny look even more realistic. Once you're done going over your whole animal with Sharpie, you're going to go over it with the eraser. A lot of times your Sharpie does not cover all of your pencil lines perfectly, so going over it with the eraser is a good idea so that you don't see any of that extra pencil. Then you're going to go ahead and grab the template for the lines for whatever animal you are doing, and these lines are going to break up our animal into pieces to help us with creating the hair texture. Now, when you are doing this, it is super important that you have gone back to pencil. Okay, these lines are going to get erased, so you need to make sure that you use pencil for these lines. Once you've done the lines in pencil, you're going to go ahead and go in with a Sharpie, not to go over the lines, but to add the hair texture inside or in between each of the lines. So I'm using my Sharpie loosely because I'm trying to make it look kind of like little hairs. Okay, and in between each of the penciled sections, you're going to go ahead and create those hairs. After you finish with the Sharpie, then you're going to go back in with your eraser again, and you're going to erase all of the pencil guidelines that you created for making all of the hairs. You should have used the pencil lightly, so it should be very easy to erase these guidelines. For our background, we're going to create tulips with watercolor. And we're going to do this by first waking up the paint, adding lots of water to any of the colors that we want to use so that they're ready to go. Then we're going to use a U shape to create our tulips. Now I suggest using a variety of colors, okay? But you do not want your watercolors to touch. If they touch while they're wet, they're going to mix together. So I use a U shape, then I'm filling in the U shape with a couple strokes of my paintbrush to make it look like a tulip flower. Now you're going to fill the entire top of your paper with this tulip shape. Then you're going to add green grass and stems. Okay, so I kind of added a stem to each of my flowers, and then I added a bunch of extra green lines for grass. Once your background is dry, it's time to cut out your animal. So you're going to carefully cut out your whatever animal that you chose to do, recycling any of the scraps. Then you're going to go ahead and glue it onto your background. Now I had a lot of trouble getting my glue stick to get my animal to stick to the background. If this is the case, we can use some liquid glue to get your animal to stick down to the background. It's also very important when you're gluing to make sure that you're gluing the edges down, and your animal, the bottom of your animal should be touching the bottom of your paper. Okay, there shouldn't be a bunch of space in between your animal and the bottom of the paper.